What's up, everyone? It is Diecastbuffet here again, guys. We have a 2018 Bubba Wallace rookie car, the Farmer John Chevrolet Camaro from Richard Petty Motorsports. Let's go ahead and get a closer look at today's diecast. And here we go, fellas. Rotating base out of the studio and a trip back to 2018. And I really like the box designs we had that year. You have just like this gray, kind of like a metal finish to it. It's like a carbon fiber or maybe like an interior color to it. You give a little texture there. Really, really cool. Farmer John is the actual brand sponsor for this car. And this was part of a whole bunch of diecasts that Bubba had in 2018. I reviewed a couple of them. I don't think I reviewed all of them. And naturally, here in 2025, we're doing the diecast review here. Cool stuff. Let's go ahead and get the diecast out of the box. And the diecast is out of the box, brand new here in the studio. And what a cool looking paint scheme. This is definitely more of a forgotten car. I don't think they sponsored him in 2019. I could be tripping on that. So maybe this was a one-year deal, or maybe this was one of the last sponsors that were kind of part of maybe the Smithfield era at RPM. You know, Eric Almirola left it after 2017, and then he would go over to SHR in 2018. So at the front of the diecast here, you have this little stripe pattern here. You have red, you have white, then you have it's almost like a blue purple. It literally looks like the Air Force blue that the 43 car had for numerous years, whether it was AJ Allmendinger, whether it was heck even Reed Sorensen and the 44 car, I think it was. But it almost looks like a purple blue. And of course, Eric Almirola, all those years at RPM. Back then, it was Richard Petty Enterprises for 1 year. I don't know. They've changed that team name so much now. It's Legacy Motor Club, which is it still the same team? Who knows? Got Farmer John right there. Since 1931, I think. I don't know. Maybe my eyesight is tripping. Go to the front of the diecast here. You have the 2018-2019 style Chevrolet Camaro front end, which is way more aggressive, a little bit more detailed than the 2020 variant. It worked out, you know, in terms of performance because it won both of the championships it competed in, that being 2020 and 2021. But the argument was it wasn't as fast as the counterparts, that being the Ford Fusion, Ford Mustang, Toyota Camry, X, Y, and Z. So I could see why they made the updated to it, but I always loved the 2018-2019 front ends, just really detailed. Got Petty Motorsports right there. Moog, Mel, Comp, Edelbrock, and Sunoco, number 43. Go to the left side of the diecast. Of course, picked this one up from our good friends over there at Circle B Diecast. You won't believe the price. I think it was like $5. A fantastic deal for a diecast that, you know, a lot of people probably forgot existed. They have a bunch of Bubba cars over there that a lot of people might not remember, because you got to think about it. At RPM in 2018, they were kind of like what would you call it? Maybe a Ricky Stenhouse Jr. nowadays, where they had so many sponsors and paint schemes every week, right? They have I think a Cosmopolitan car. They have a NASCAR Racing Experience car. Both of those got made at 1/64 scale. He had an STP car that year. I think he might even had an Eckridge car. I could be tripping on that. I mean, they had so many different paint schemes. The Click and Close car. They even made a raced version of it because he finished second at Daytona. They had the U.S. Air Force car. Didn't he get a Darlington throwback made? I mean, you start looking at it, there was a lot of good diecasts that got produced. Got Goodyear right there, number 43. Got an interesting contingency panel. I don't know why, but it kind of looks smaller than most contingency panels I'm used to. So maybe that's a design issue. I'm not sure. You do have Mechanics Wear 3M Flowmaster and NASCAR rookie Sunoco thing. And NASCAR race car there, Bubba Wallace. You got Coca-Cola, Mac Tools, Safety Clean, and Mac Truck. I think he even had a paint scheme for Mac Truck as well. Farmer John, Click and Close. Got Pioneer, U.S. Air Force, and STP. I'm not sure if the blue on this car is more blue or purple. I don't. It looks blue to me. Maybe I'm tripping, but it really does almost look purple. I got American Ethanol ring right there. I don't know why, but it looks like it's almost double printed. Maybe that's just me. This car does have the actual casting hole where the fuel insert would go. So naturally, that's going to mean the decal needs to be a little bit larger than usually the flat casted die cast nowadays. Usually most of the molds don't have that embedded fuel insert. Yeah, STP, U.S. Air Force. Go to the back end of the die cast. You have Alsco. That was another one I think he ran I'm telling you, he had so many different paint schemes. I remember 2019, he was even sponsored by Plebby Sales, which is the same cats at Circle B. So it's just really cool, all the different brands and sponsors he has. And it's an interesting discussion because some people are like, it's hard to recognize a driver if they have 1,000 paint schemes every year compared to 20 years ago when you would have the Miller Lite car was always the 2 car, the Coors Light car was always the 40, X, Y, and Z. Personally, I'm a fan of both, right? I like how some drivers, like a Larson, might have one paint scheme the entire year, almost. And then some drivers, like the Roush cars, every single week in 2025, they have a Kroger paint scheme. I love seeing different paint schemes. I love more paint schemes. I think it's fun. One of the big reasons why I was a huge JTG Doherty racing fan, now they're Hayek Motorsports, is every single week they would have a new livery. So I think this was a cool era for Richard Petty Motorsports in that regard. Get your rookie tape right there, Camaro 43. Now, one thing that was interesting about the 2018-2019 Camaros is they always had the short, stubby spoiler. And even though the rules packages for a lot of the races had a taller spoiler, they only produced it with the short spoiler. Now in 2020, when they got the new diecast mold, they did make it a tall spoiler. Personally, I wish they would have done that instead of the short stubby spoiler because I feel like the cars raced more often with the tall spoiler. But this was a time in the sport where I couldn't tell you what rules packages were in play in 2018, 2019. They changed it so much throughout the years. The next gen era, it's kind of been easier to keep up with because they haven't made any gigantic changes at the time of this video. But back in those years, man, it was high downforce, then low horsepower, high horsepower, low downforce every year. Now this is interesting here. The NASCAR race car decal, I'm guessing it took a nap. I don't know. It's like tucked up underneath the blue, just sleeping there. That's interesting. Go to the top of the diecast here. Got the number 43. Now, this was one thing I really wish they would have fixed on their cars, and I remember talking about this years ago, is that the 43 orange is supposed to be bright, I think. I could be tripping on that. If it's not, then that it's accurate. But I remember the real car, I think, having the bright 43. And a lot of his diecasts, unfortunately, were made with kind of this just more of a darker orange, not the traditional bright, orange roof numbers that you traditionally see on stock cars because it helps the spotters see. That's one thing I really wish they would have fixed, but nonetheless, notice there is no front windshield banner because they don't have the Monster Energy Cup Series there, but you do have the rear window banner, which has Bubba Wallace right there, and then Farmer John on the deck lid. It's a cool little paint scheme, man. I didn't pick this one up when it originally came out in 2018. It didn't get a Authentic's release. A lot of his other paint schemes did. The STP car, Click and Close car, the U.S. Air Force car, I think, as well. They all had Authentic's releases. And I want to say that, maybe the NASCAR Racing Experience one got one as well. But for whatever reason, this one didn't get one as well. So that was kind of interesting. But yeah, what a cool little diecast here, man. There's a lot of Bubba Wallace paint schemes over there at Circle B. Tap in. Thank y'all for watching. Have a blessed one, everybody. Like, comment, and subscribe. Diecastbuffet. Let me go get the camera focus. There we go. Diecastbuffet. Signing off.